The views and opinions expressed by Howard and Ridley through Reclaim the Room, including the podcast, blog, and social media, are solely our own and do not reflect the views or policies of any employer or organization. Content is provided for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, medical, or psychological advice. Copyright Reclaim the Room, all rights reserved.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Reclaim the Room. I'm Howard.
And I'm Ridley.
We're serious about what we do, but don't be surprised when we get a little goofy. Ridley and I have known each other for years now, long enough to have seen all kinds of chaos inside and outside the classroom, long enough to have laughed together in the classroom, cried together in the classroom. We've known each other for quite some while. But now it's time for you to take a moment to get to know a little bit about us. So, Ridley, tell them about yourself.
My name is Ridley Daniela. Okay, so I've been an educator in public education since 2013. I educated adults outside of public education since 97. I have a master's in human services and I have a Ed.D. all but dissertation in transformational educational leadership. I am certified to teach anything 4th through 8th core subjects. I have to think about it. I'm also ELL certified, GT certified, and SPED, which is where my heart really is. And I think my favorite thing to teach, though, I've been in life skills rooms. I've been in the behavior rooms, but the favorite thing for me to teach, honestly, is U.S. history. What about you?
That's the favorite thing for me to have you teach. Those classes I can get into. My turn? Okay. I've been in education for 16 years. Well, I was in education for 16 years. My background includes 2 master's degrees, one in teaching science and one in educational leadership. I've taught mainly middle school science my whole career. I've taught high school just 2 years and everywhere from Louisiana, Texas, Germany, Missouri. I think that's about it. But I've taught all those places and I've enjoyed most of it. I have, like I said, I'm a science teacher, so I'm certified in science. That's what I love to do. That's all I've ever wanted to teach. So you put me in a social studies classroom, I'm lost.
That's okay, because if you put me in science, I'm lost.
Between the two of us, we've seen the highs and lows of education, and that's part of what inspired us to start Reclaim the Room. We've been in the trenches together a lot. We've seen a lot and we've learned a lot. And through this, I think we are aiming to educate, to help, give strategies, learn ourselves. This is a community, guys. We are really here to form a community. Let's go right into what it means to us, really. What does Reclaim the Room mean to you?
Well, Reclaim the Room, it actually came about because it's the 600 name.
Literally,
that I came up with and it was the first one that wasn't really used. And so I just said, you know what? I'm slapping Reclaim the Room on here for now so we can just have something to focus on. And it's became more than just this temporary name. It's actually taken a life of its own. In my mind, Reclaim the Room is giving me alone, it's giving me hope. And we haven't even gotten started yet.
right.
It's more about reclaiming that piece of you that got you into education to begin with, that
Right.
fire,
Right.
that desire to help, and for me, Reclaim the Room is really about passing on that hope to someone else and stepping back. Maybe it's someone like you that is leaving education or has left education, and maybe, just maybe, they'll have another go at it,
Right.
I'd love to teach down the hall from you again.
I know, it's so much fun. It's so much fun when you know your dance buddies right down the hallway, and as soon as that bell rings, you're gonna hit the hallways, and the kids are gonna love it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Reclaim the room. I want to start by saying a little bit of my story before, and we'll go into deeper into my story and really as well in future episodes. But I've dealt with a lot of trauma related to my position as an educator. So reclaim the room to me is reclaiming that headspace. Really came up with the name for our movement. That's what I'm gonna call it, our movement. And I came up with the logo. And my intent with putting the brain in the logo was that's what I needed to reclaim. That space in my
Mhm.
head that is just so filled with trauma and stress and anxiety. I need that
Right.
out of my head. I need to reclaim that space to be
Mhm.
able to maybe go back to teaching or at least figure out where I want to what I want to do with my talents.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why reclaim the room is really, really, like I said, really, really a movement because I see so many benefits that this can
Mhm.
have for us and for others who are, we're not the only two, for us
No.
who are on this journey with us.
Yeah.
And as educators, we all know that nobody knows the life of an educator other than an educator.
Right.
People can empathize and sympathize with us, but you don't know until you've been through it.
And
So I think that,
sometimes you
go
you
ahead.
can I'm sorry, but
No,
sometimes you
you're
can't
fine.
even guess. Like, you think you might know what a teacher goes through. I've heard people say this to me. "Oh, man, having 30 kids that are like my kids in the classroom, I feel for you." Well, it's not your kids acting like they act at home either, first of all, but no, it's really not
Nothing like
that.
that. Nothing like that. Because if you got just think if we had 30 kids with the exact same personality, how different how different that experience would be from having all these different personalities, all these different needs that have to be met. That's totally different. So yeah, you're right. They don't understand and they mean well. They
Yes.
mean
Yeah,
well when they
definitely.
are trying to empathize with us because they know we're going through something, but they have no clue what it is.
Mhm.
Really, I don't know if we talked about this or not, but my Substack post, and I'm not going to go into that, but I posted one of my Substack posts, and one of the parents of one of the schools responded, and she said, "Thank you so much for posting this. I never knew what teachers were going through. I never knew what they were going through. They got the administrative from the news, where they were
Mhm.
getting that bit. They got the students' version when their child came home, but
Mhm.
nobody ever told our side of the story."
Right. Yeah.
And they were more than I mean, they were really thankful to hear that because I don't think that they don't understand that how much mentally we take on from those kids. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They don't
Yeah.
understand that bond that we have.
Yeah.
That's not my physical child, but I care. I'm
Yes.
not just here to say I'm, showing up every day. I care about these kids. So when something
Mhm.
happens, we take that on and people don't realize that, they think that it's just another child, but we're hurting almost just as much as their parents might be when something happens to them.
Yeah. I mean, we
So,
we spend 8 hours a day with these kids.
right.
We're there. They get dropped off sometimes at as early as 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yes.
and some of them don't leave until 6 o'clock at night, if
And
that early,
and
and
let's
then
not
they got
talk
the
about them being
sports.
cold and hungry
Uh-huh.
and, having to
Yeah.
us having not having to because it's not a requirement that
No.
we do these things. However,
It's actually
I don't
frowned
know
upon.
many people in my friend group, my educator group, that are gonna see a cold child and not make sure he's got a jacket, or see a child that's hungry and not at least put some crackers or maybe a protein bar in their hand to make sure they have something.
Something. Yep.
So
Yeah.
we that and believe it, we talk about that, but that's a form of secondary stress. That's secondary trauma. We're taking on what they're going through
Mhm.
because these parents don't believe it, but their kids come to school and tell us everything that's going on.
Yes, they
And
do.
we have to, take the time to help them make sense of that sometimes. So it's so much that and just hearing that from different students every day, that weighs on you. What's the saying that you have really about the body feels it?
The body remembers what the mind forgets. Yeah. So we carry it all and it hurts. Pieces
It
of us
hurts.
hurt a lot. Yeah. 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 And when we talk about what the kids tell us and how we feel for them and how we hear their stories and then you multiply it by 178 kids, we're not talking about things that are really, I don't know, they're not CPS related. It's not like we're not doing our due diligence. We're
Right,
not doing
right.
our job as mandated reporters. We're not saying that. Sometimes things happen and things just happen, and a child is having to process something
And they
that
don't know how.
they don't know
That's the
how.
thing.
And you would think, this child does not need to even be worried about something like that, but
Right.
they are.
They are. And some of it is self-inflicted. Some children are naturally worriers, and I
Yeah,
had to learn that, but they are naturally worriers, and they worry about things that are beyond their control and that they really don't need to worry about, but that's their personality. And,
mhm.
we have to some teachers are like that as well.
No.
But yes, that's that, a lot that goes on. And one thing I want to point out is that though we are both educators, what we have to offer is not just for educators. We're
No.
talking to any professional, because trauma and stress and anxiety in the workplace doesn't always come from working with kids. You
Right,
can get that can be just from the stress of a job,
right.
having a difficult boss or administrator. It could be or a different difficult coworker. It could be a lot of things that are
Yeah,
causing that.
yeah.
But we want to help. We need to learn how to cope with it, and we want to help you guys be able to cope with it as well.
And a lot of what we're going to be doing and saying and talking about, we're not just throwing stuff out there that we haven't
No.
researched or that, we're not just like picking things out of a hat and say, well, let's just tell them this. We do some research. We
Yes.
read a lot. We definitely put a lot of time and effort into this alone, just this. And I am still an educator. And so I still have all of that as well. But it's something that we both felt like not only we've been talking about doing something for years, right?
Since we met,
And y'all are gonna have to just kinda keep up because we tend to change lanes pretty quick. We try to give a heads up, but that doesn't always happen. So,
really and I are really good friends, so we think alike, and I can follow her train of thought. I
which
can
is
follow her
scary.
eyes and see what she's looking, see what she wants me to to pick up or whatever it is, and she can do the same with me. So we'll try to make sure that we're bringing you guys along with us. But if not, just hold on a little while. We'll come
Just
back around and pick you up. If we drive off without you, we'll come back around and pick you up.
circle the block. We always do. But but it's and let's go back to the reclaim the room part, which
Okay.
is where I was trying to go, but just,
Okay.
it was kinda not
Squirrel,
working.
squirrel,
Yeah.
squirrel.
So, it's more than this podcast.
Yes.
Like, we have what we're building is something solid with a good foundation. We're not just throwing things up.
Mm-mm.
We have a blog that is also launching November 1st.
November
Today, when you're
1st?
seeing
Yeah,
this. Yes! We gotta stop clapping and stuff because 'cause we're
I
realizing it's,
know.
like, not the same, but y'all just bear with us. We have a website that also hosts the blog, and we'll
Mhm,
have the links for the podcast. We will have, or we have already, a YouTube channel,
mm,
Claim the Room, Instagram, reclaim.the.room, Facebook page, Reclaim the Room. And on our website, we will also have some products that we are developing that
mhm.
will be available soon. And okay, here's a question for you. You ready, Howard?
I'm ready.
We have a TikTok too. We got to
Yeah, we
work
do.
on our TikTok a little bit.
We do.
They're too short. I got to notice. Anyway,
Okay. Okay. We're
what
getting there,
about
y'all.
what about a Facebook group for Reclaim the Room? We haven't thought of that.
We haven't, but I think that that would be powerful because that's somewhere that we can continue the conversation.
Mhm.
That can be our community where if someone wants to come in there and vent at the end of the day or, whatever, come in and ask for advice and everybody can chime in.
Right.
I think that that opens up the conversation, and that's what we really want. We really want this conversation to expand. We want to
Yeah.
bring everyone in so we can all grow together. So I do think a Facebook group is a good idea. You wrote that down, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It will be there soon. Trying to make
Coming
sure I don't do
soon.
it while we're on this podcast.
Probably before you see this podcast, the Facebook group will be there.
Yes, it will be. And all the links will be in the comments or in the description. So just scroll down and you'll see everything. So Howard, we
Mhm,
talked about what reclaim the room, what the words
mhm,
mean, why
mhm.
we're doing well, we haven't really talked about why we're doing this, have we? Tell us.
No.
So what's the why for it for you?
The why is because I'm in the trenches right now. Did leave the classroom, the elephant in the room. I had a student killed at the campus at which I taught, and that really threw me mentally. I didn't think that I would react. My body, like you said, my body reacted in ways that I didn't even think, I didn't,
Mhm.
when something happens and you're in it, you're reacting. You're doing what you need to do. So I was
Yeah.
able to get through it, and I lasted the rest of the school year. I was able to do it because I knew in my mind, I'm not going to say I knew, but in my mind, those babies or those students, my students needed a familiar face to be able to walk into a school that was basically in my eyes a crime scene.
Yeah.
So I knew that I felt like they would need a familiar face there. So I was able to make it through the year. So I finished the school year out, but the first 2 weeks of the summer, I totally crashed. And it was not a pretty sight. I
Yeah.
mean, it was ugly crying. It was not getting out of the bed for days at a time. It was really, really bad. So I did
Yeah.
leave education, kinda sort kinda sorta. It's hard for me to leave, and we'll talk about that a lot too, but I have a lot of that guilt too as
Mhm.
to because I just feel like I know what I have to offer, and I'm not being braggadocious or any of that, but I know
Yeah.
what I have to offer, and I know the joy that I had from teaching those kids, and I
Mhm.
know I was looking back through my phone, and I could see pictures of things that I had done with them and things, just I know that I was making an impact in that position, but, I say all that to say reclaim the room, that's where it comes for me. I'm trying to reclaim myself because
Yeah.
honestly, I'm still fighting my way back from that. I can smile now, which is a good thing, a good start, but am I totally healed and ready to just take on the world again? No,
No.
because those triggers are still there. And I don't even know what they are yet. Not all of them.
Right.
Certain things happen, and I'm like, why am I crying? I don't know yet. So I'm still working through it, and reclaim the room is my way of reclaiming my headspace, reclaiming just clearing my mind of that anxiety. I truly, truly want to be able to get back to teaching and be
Yeah.
able to find joy in it.
Yeah.
And I think that once I have reclaimed my peace, my space, my mental, then I'll be able to do that
And
with a smile.
from my perspective, just
Mhm.
in the last month, maybe,
Mhm.
I can see a change already in your continence. You don't
Yeah.
seem as heavy
Yeah.
get to work. It's a little bit of a lighter step.
Right.
You do I can see it still when it stresses you. And you'll know because I come up to you 45 times in 10 minutes.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? But yeah, I did not realize that until last week I think it was, and because you kept coming up to me, but so did some of the other ladies, and I was like, well, I must be wearing it all over me today. But I didn't realize I was. I'm feeling. Oh, I'm okay. At least I felt that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a process. It's a process. And one of the biggest reasons that I'm loving this reclaim the room is because I don't have to do it alone. You know what I'm saying? I have Ridley. I can pick up a phone and call Ridley and say, hey, Ridley, I'm just not there today. I just can't do it. But I want a community where we can all depend on one another.
Yes.
You know, I
Yes.
have my spouse downstairs, but he has no clue
Yeah.
what it's like to do what I do because he would tell me, not in a negative way, but can you just turn your mind off? Just turn your brain off so you can rest.
Yeah. Mine says that too.
Because they so tired of seeing us worked up all the time. It's like, "Just
Mhm.
turn it off." And I'm like, "I just can't. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how." And I have
It
to
does
learn
take a
how.
lot.
I intend to learn how,
Yeah.
and you guys are coming with me on this journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just say that really and I don't have it all together. We don't have it all figured out, but we are learning. And the things that we are learning, we felt like we need to share.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be able to. I know it's not a one fix for everybody, but you can find something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm quite sure you'll find something here that'll help.
Yeah. And it's the fact that you and I are doing this together. We can not only do we often compare notes of, hey, have you done this? Or hey, have you felt
Mm-hmm.
this?
Mm-hmm.
It's, oh, yeah, I've tried that and this is what happened. Oh, yeah, I've tried that and that was
Yeah.
the worst thing ever. You
Like,
know,
don't do that.
don't do that. Okay, if you do that, I'm going to tell you I told you so. I'm just telling you up front because that's what we do.
That's what we have to do. And
We
it's
do
really
that.
great to have that person. It really is great to have that person. And I'm lucky that we live close together, but I
Not
think that
so close
we
together
want
that your
not too
husband would
close
kill
together.
me. Gary, that was for you.
We have this community and I think that, we can be that person for other people.
Yes, because not everybody
You know?
has that other person.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
And you have your coworkers, but sometimes you just don't want to burden them, or sometimes you just don't feel safe in sharing with them. And we just want to be a part of that community that helps bridge that gap.
Yeah, yeah.
We talk about one of the things really I wanted to talk about is the one of the things that keeps me saying trauma all the time is we've been beat over the head with trauma informed teaching. But what happens when the teachers are the ones that are traumatized? That's the
Trauma-informed
problem.
learning.
It's like,
Yeah,
who's there for us?
right.
Seriously, who's there for us?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's it.
And I
That's
just
it.
think about teachers that have done it for 30, 40 years and all that they have seen and gone through and just had nowhere to turn.
Mhm. Yeah,
And I don't think we need to go another moment without having somewhere.
yeah. Yeah, and matter of fact, the only thing that's keeping us from not releasing this 3 days after we came up with it was the small shred of common sense and the 2 brain cells we have working together that day
Working together.
that said that's not a good idea because 'cause we're so
Pretty
excited
much.
about this.
Pretty much because we really are excited about this.
Mhm.
And I know you probably can see us how happy we are, but this is the beginning of something that I know is going to be good for a lot of people.
It is.
And again, it's not just teachers. We're teachers, but it's not just teachers. We know that there are other professions that suffer silently.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is my 2nd career, so
Yeah.
I'm well aware of what that is in other careers. I've worked for CPS. I have done the probation department. I was an adult probation officer. And so each one of those brings its own stress, you know? And so it's not just,
Yeah, the rest of the day trying to figure out that word.
we'll just move. Well, it's not like we have just, we're the only ones
Monopoly.
that are,
Monopoly.
thank you. That's the
There
word.
you go.
Yes. On trauma, but we feel like it's not addressed enough when it comes to teachers. We're there for the students, and then we forget that we need to be there for ourselves and for each other, and that we also have some pretty deep wounds when it comes
Yes.
to what we go through and what we hear. And a little bit about, my why is I had to leave the classroom unexpectedly for 4 months because I couldn't leave. Like, I had such anxiety, I couldn't leave my apartment or house long enough to do anything. I would go to the store and watch my feet walk. I couldn't even look up when I could go to the store. And it's taken me quite a while to get through what that really cost me and why it happened.
Hmm.
I'm a pretty strong personality. I am known at work as being aggressively helpful too. At first, when they first gave it to me, it's a little like badge thingy, and I thought it said aggressive and helpful, and I was happy with that.
You say, thanks. Thanks. You guys know me so well.
But it's the whole, like, I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. when you have that feeling that you're sinking, but you gotta keep the person next to you and the 3 kids behind you afloat so that they don't sink either.
That's when you're right, I know what you're saying, because that's I get the visual of the quicksand, and you're holding everybody else up, but there as the weight of them is pressing you
It's
down.
pressing you down, and someone comes in and tries to relieve you, and you're looking at them and like, "You're not strong enough.
Mhm.
I'm not giving this responsibility to you." And you feel like that's what you're supposed to do, so that's what you do. And right, wrong, or indifferent, that's what we do. We as teachers, we sacrifice a lot. We mentioned, we feed them, we buy them coats, we buy them shoes, we buy them all
Yep.
sorts of things. We line up haircuts, we get eyeglasses. Sometimes when we do these things, it's really more or less under the table, and
Yes.
sometimes it's with the help of different organizations, but it's the stress of what if we can't get that?
Mhm. Mhm.
We have a child that walks 5 miles
Mhm.
and it's cold
Mm.
and there is no bus for that child, but
So
he
that's
could
really
ride
what
a
she
bike
did.
if he had one.
So what does really do?
Ridley finds a bike.
Exactly. Exactly. We
Um,
realize the importance of education, and when they're trying, you can do nothing more than just make sure that they have everything that they need to
yeah,
be successful.
yeah, yeah,
And even some of those that don't try. You just, things that it just seems like so much is stacked against them. Just to get to the school building, the building
yeah.
is like for that child, that's hard enough.
And the fact that they
So
make it there,
exactly. With a smile. Good morning.
it's almost against all odds. And when they're happy to see you.
Exactly.
And it's one thing we don't want to confuse anybody with is we're not trying to overuse the word trauma. We're also not trying to substitute words that aren't the right
Right.
words. It's not stress, y'all. A bubble bath is not going to fix it,
Mm-mm.
right? Stress is when you have a grading deadline and you haven't graded the 3 classes of essays that you told them to
Mhm.
write and that they actually wrote for once. And, you're 3 days behind in entering other grades, and all of a sudden, you go home sick and you can't even lift your head off the pillow. That's stress,
That's stress. That's
right?
stress.
That's not what this is. That's not what this is. It's also not burnout.
And that's one of the big ones, especially in this field. Oh, I'm so burnt out.
No, it's not burnout. Burnout is when stress just moves in, right? And it takes over and you're at that heightened level all the time. And that
Mhm.
burns you out. It literally you're burning the candle at both ends. You don't have anything left to give, but you still
Right.
try to give.
Right.
And your body eventually you develop the headaches and the stomach aches and the back aches and the feet aches and everything else aches. And then you actually sit there and you're like, why am I doing this? Why am I still here? That's burnout. Trauma, on the other hand, which is what we're really talking about, we will talk about stress and burnout too. That's just not to say that we're not gonna.
Right.
But
Because
trauma,
that's important too.
yeah, trauma is when your brain is hyperfixated on being safe. And your brain constantly sends you signals. This is not safe. This is not safe. This
Mhm.
is not safe. And your body is in constant fight or flight mode. Yes, there's more to that. There's more fight, flight, freeze, and there's another one now.
Mhm.
But it's when you pull into the parking lot and before you ever even get out of your car, everything tenses up, your stomach starts to quake, and you're,
I would break out in hives. I'm sorry, but I read, and I was like, my body's really reacting to this.
uh-huh,
Is that I would might physically break out in hives, and
mhm.
that's strange. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
No,
your
no,
body's gonna that's when your body just says, "Hey, something's wrong. We're not good here. We're not good here,
yeah.
and I need you to do something about it."
Yeah. For me, I started shaking and I couldn't breathe and my heart
Mhm.
was racing and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And then it felt like I was having heartburn. And then I just did everything I could not to all of a sudden burst out into tears in
Mhm.
front of everybody. That's because of trauma. That's not stress. That's not burnout, and that's trauma, and there's different kinds of trauma, and we'll, like, throughout,
Mhm.
we'll talk about that. There's all sorts of kinds of trauma, but I don't want anyone to think that we're trying to use a word that's inappropriate. We're trying to use the word that is appropriate, but that has not been said enough. And again,
And
it goes back. The body remembers what the mind
uh,
forgets. And the mind forgets to protect you, but the body apparently didn't get the message.
exactly. It's like, "Okay, I'm ready. We gotta do something."
Yeah,
But your mind is like, "I don't know what to do."
yeah.
It's a needed conversation. Let's put it like that. It's a
Mhm.
needed conversation, and we're very excited about it. Really, and I don't claim to be the end all be all. We don't know everything. We will really have guests as well, right?
Yes,
We
ma'am.
we have
We
guests, we
will.
have some lined up, and we have plans for more. Like I said, this is a conversation.
Mhm.
This is not just me and really telling you what we think,
No.
what we know, what we've learned. Well, this is a conversation. We want to know what everybody else is going through and how they're dealing with it, because maybe your way can help me as well. So we want to hear voices from we'll hear voices from educators, administrators, and that's not the end of the list.
No.
That's not the end of the list. We'll talk a lot about, education, but we also wanna know what you wanna hear about,
Yes,
what
and
you want us to talk about.
as a matter
Go
of
ahead.
fact, we will have um, a s a form to fill out if you would like to be a guest on the show. It'll ask you some questions.
Hang out with us. We'll have a good time, we promise.
We are not boring people.
Not at all.
And as a matter of fact, our next podcast, which will be podcasts, I think we're gonna drop every Tuesday, except for this first one. And then blogs are gonna drop every Wednesday, except for the
Mhm.
first one. Maybe an extra one in the week, just depending on what the blog topic is. And then Instagram is like all the time.
Yes.
And blog
We're
or
both
the
on there all the time.
yeah. Seeing two old ladies like, "What does that button do? Have you seen that before? I don't know what that."
But I think it really would like I mean, I don't know, because 'cause I'm not a YouTuber, I'm not a I don't know. So, but I really would like you guys to meet us over on Instagram and the Facebook group that'll be there, because I want to really open this conversation up.
Yeah,
I really do.
yeah. And we'll also be, if you are watching this, you already know, we have the audio for the podcast, but it's
Yeah.
also video for
Yes.
YouTube, so you can
You
see
can
our
see some of the foolishness.
yeah, 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 yeah. Howard, I don't know if I told you this. I probably
What's
should
up?
have. Did you know
Uh-oh.
that we have a special launch giveaway?
Do we?
Yeah.
I'm all for it, though.
So
Okay, so we have our first giveaway coming
yes, we
up.
do. Yes, we do. So what we need to do, and we'll do it now, and we might as well.
Okay.
Surprise! I'm not going to tell you what the launch giveaway is yet.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I am too. I am too.
I'm excited.
So, this comes to the end of our very first podcast. I hope that everyone has enjoyed listening to us as we get comfortable, just being on here. It's different. It's different.
It is, it is.
Our next podcast, I started to say what that was, but I never did finish, is on self-care
Mhm.
and teachers leaving. They're
The bubble
connected.
baths?
Yeah, they're connected, by the way. Um, so yeah, I think we're done with our first one.
Guys, we really enjoyed this time. We hope that you enjoy hanging out with us as well. So we just want to thank you for helping us reclaim the room.
Yeah, and we'll
And
see
see
you
you
next
next
time.
time.
Reclaim the Room credits, otherwise known as Teacher Duties as Assigned. Bus Duty, Howard. Hallway Duty, Ridley. Cafeteria Duty, Howard. Recess Duty, Ridley. Field Trip Coordinator, Howard. After school tutoring, Ridley. Required attendance for Howard and Ridley, staff meetings, PLC, and every single one of those committees.